Hi, I'm Michael Fry, President and CEO of Deepwater Subsea. In this episode of The Daily Grind, I talk about why my odds of winning the Powerball are much greater than your odds in getting a job. Let's get into the show. So as an athlete, one of the things that my coaches always taught us is, you never know what's going to happen until you step on the field. There's always that chance of the upset. And the reason I want to talk about that is there's a lot of people in today's market who aren't actually out there trying to compete with other individuals. And what I mean by that is, I'm not going to apply for this job because Mike's CV is so much better. And I'm not going to apply for that position because the odds of me getting it are very poor. We talk about odds. Tonight's the Powerball, 1.5 billion, I think is what's estimated. The ticket tells me that the overall odds of winning is 1 in 292 million. The thing that's interesting though is, so I've made the investment. I spent 20 bucks, I'm not gonna lie. But the reason I spent that 20 bucks is, as long as there's a chance, there's a possibility. Now realistically, am I gonna win the Powerball? Probably not. But if I don't get into the game, if I don't put my CV out there, if I don't put that telephone call that I talk about keeping the hustle, then the odds of me having an opportunity to win are zero. So for me, this daily grind, keeping it very, very simple. Odds of winning the Powerball tonight, 1 in 292 million. The odds of you getting a job that you don't apply for, zero. Take the time, send those CVs out there. My mom always used to tell me, you never know what you can get unless you ask for it. Same thing goes with the pretty girl in the corner. You see a lot of, supermodels and celebrities. You're like, wow, she's gorgeous. How did she end up with, the common Joe? The common Joe had what it took to go up to her and say, hey, my name is such and such. Never put yourself out of the game because you don't think you have what it takes to compete against somebody else. You don't have to be the supermodel. You don't have to be the star athlete. You just have to be someone who's willing to go and put yourself out there. And, and sometimes dealing with rejection is very tough. Again, for me, 292 million to 1, or 1 in 292 million. I'd rather be that one and have that opportunity than sit at home bitching and complaining about, geez, I can't get a job because no one will return my call. Well, how many calls have you made? When I was on recruiting duty, they used to tell us all the time at salesmanship is, how many calls turned into how many interviews, turned into how many face-to-face, turned into how many guys going down to actually process for the military, to how many guys actually join. It's the KPIs. Same thing goes with today's market. If you're not sending out resumes, if you're not making calls, if you're not sitting down having interviews, then you're not going to have an opportunity to get a job. The odds sometimes are not in your favor, but the one odd that you have going for you is that if you put yourself out there, sooner or later, you're going to get that position. So for this daily grind, it doesn't matter what the odds are. It could be 1 billion to 1. As long as you have that one shot, you have to go for it. Something to think about.